guys, I want to do a first and second trimester recap summary symptoms. This is my first pregnancy. I'm going to begin by talking about the first trimester, which technically is the first 12 weeks being the first 3 months, but I'm going to kind of lump my first trimester into the first 4 months because that's when I had like similar symptoms. The first pregnancy symptom I had that made me realize like I'm pregnant is my nipples hurt. And like my nipples never hurt. Like I don't get sore boobs, I don't get like bigger boobs when I have my period or anything, and my nipples were just really sensitive, so that's how I knew I was pregnant. The first 4 months were pretty tough. I was sick every month for a different reason, and it was probably like non-pregnancy related, but when you're pregnant you can't take a lot of medicines because a lot of the medicines contain alcohol or contain other things that could cause birth defects, so it's just like being sick and having nothing basically. The first time I got sick, I was really early on into my pregnancy. It was about 6 weeks. I had just found out I was pregnant, and I had breathing problems. So I had a cold initially, and I think either it got heightened with allergies, I'm not sure what it was, but I basically couldn't breathe. I was hospitalized for 2 days, and they said you might have developed asthma. That's not common during like being an adult and developing asthma. They're like, but pregnancy does some weird things to the body, so it could be asthma, it could have been allergies, it could have been like everything mixed together. But that was a really bad, scary experience. The second time I was sick, I don't know what it was. So I was wearing a new dress, and we also went to a restaurant. And while we're at the restaurant, like the back of my neck started to get itchy, and I didn't really think anything about it. But then like by the time I went home, I was like itchy everywhere, and I had a horrible rash. And this rash lasted for about a week, and it was just like being extremely itchy everywhere. I could only take allergy medicine, which didn't help. I was itchy everywhere. My like little bumps would move from everywhere. It was like everywhere, like boobs, necks, body, stomach, legs, everywhere. And it was like so itchy that it was painful. Like I wasn't scratching because I was like, I'm just gonna make it worse, but it lasted about a week. And I went to the doctor, and they're like, just it's gonna pass by, like just let it go. And I was like, okay. And then the third time I was sick was actually I had 2 different microorganisms, which is basically like a virus, bacteria in my stomach, and I had diarrhea for 9 days. And it was 9 days of like just really bad diarrhea, stomach pain, like feeling very sick and weak, and no medicine. They're like, we could give you antibiotics, but we want you to like wait it out and see if you can get through it by yourself. And I did, but it was just miserable. Like I was just like, I'm always sick, like it's always something. Some of the symptoms I had during my first trimester was a lot of nausea. Luckily I did not throw up, but I was nauseous all the time. Like feeling like you have to throw up is not a good feeling. And I think because I was nauseous, I had like no appetite. Like all the things that normally would taste like delicious to me, I didn't want to eat any of it, and I just felt like throwing up all the time. And then if I didn't eat, I would get more nauseous, so I knew I had to eat, but it was just really hard. So I actually ended up losing a total of 15 pounds like that first 4 months because my loss of appetite, my nauseousness, my diarrhea, like everything kind of added up, and I lost 15 pounds. Another symptom I had during the first trimester is I was tired. My nipples are still sensitive, so that's ongoing. Oh, and also vaginal discharge. Especially when I'm walking a lot, I notice that I have more. And it's not like smelly or stinky or anything, it's just white, and it's just like always there. Highlights to my first 4 months. Ultrasounds, of course. So being able to see the baby and being able to hear the heartbeat and like see her move around and just being active in there, like it was so weird because I was like, how is she moving this much and I don't feel it? And the nurse was like, really, like you don't feel it? Like I could feel it when I'm like moving the ultrasound on your stomach. And I was like, I don't feel anything, but I could see it on the monitor. Also, planning the gender reveal was a pretty good highlight. I was gonna find out on August 4th, so I was like planning it for that. Well, I found out a week before, but it was on a Monday and I wanted to make the party on Saturday, so I had like time to plan the party. Also, baby moon, I went to Mexico and it was just nice to have a little vacation before baby comes. Like, I'm also really excited though to be able to like travel with her, so that's one thing I'm looking forward to. So after the 4 months, technically after my first trimester, but more towards 5 months than 4 months, my nauseousness started like fading away. So I wasn't nauseous all day, and randomly I get nauseous when I'm hungry. So it's kind of weird. So like if I'm hungry, like let's say I'm a little late on like eating, I'll get nauseous. So like I'll have to, like I constantly have to be like snacking throughout the day. If not, I get nauseous. It's like finally feeling the baby kick. So there, I heard people tell me different things. So I was like, it's either gonna feel like flutters or gas, which I don't know. To me, it just feels like a little like thump, like a random thump. And you know it's a baby kick. Like what else can it be? And it's just random. Now it's more often like throughout the day. But when I first started feeling it, it was like mainly when I would lay down is when I would feel like or when I was sitting down, but now it's just like more random throughout the day. Also, the gender reveal, I'll insert a little clip, but it's a girl. Her name is going to be Sophia. And now a new symptom I'm having that I didn't have before is, I'm not sure if it's like acid reflux or heartburn or if that's the same thing, because I didn't have it before pregnancy. But basically I don't feel anything on my chest, which I've heard about heartburn, but I feel like a sour throat, and it feels more like acid reflux to me. And it's just like nasty because I don't know, it's just weird. Like my mouth feels sour, I guess. Which I heard that if you have a lot of like heartburn, it means your baby's gonna have a lot of hair, which is kind of cool because I was a bald baby, and then my fiance was a really hairy baby, so maybe we'll get a hairy baby. I don't know. And also back pain. Like yesterday, I don't know, like it hasn't happened often. Like sometimes when I get out of work, like I'll be tired and like my lower back hurts. But yesterday morning, I woke up and like the middle of my back hurt, and I was like, was I sleeping tense? Like what did it, well, I don't know what it is anymore. So before pregnancy, like my favorite sleeping position was like laying on my stomach and just like wide arms, wide legs. But now I'm like, if I lay on my stomach, I'm gonna squish my baby. So I have to like sleep on my sides, and I heard it's not good to sleep on your back because your heart is pumping more blood and that blah blah blah. I don't know, complicated pregnancy stuff. But basically you have to sleep on your sides, and I don't like sleeping on my sides, so it's not the most comfortable, which I'm guessing is part of the back pain issue. But another reason is that as your stomach grows, like your center of gravity changes, and so you kind of like lean back when you walk, which is kind of why some pregnant women like walk awkwardly, but you lean back to like keep more balance. But because your back's not straight when you're walking, like that could cause back pain too. Okay, now I'm gonna mention a couple of things I didn't know about pregnancy, or maybe I knew, I don't know, whatever. So the first thing I wrote down on my list is side stomach pains, and that's just like the side of my stomach, like leading to my vagina. Like sometimes I'll get like random like little pains there. It's kind of weird. Oops. Constipation. I wasn't so constipated at first. Maybe it took me like 2 after like the second month. but then I started being more constipated, and a lot of the times it's because of the iron and the prenatal. But regardless, I had never been so constipated that like it hurts to poop, and that's the kind of constipated I was. And then after that, it was like another level of constipation where like it hurt to poo, and then blood would also come out because it was just like, I think my skin was like struggling so much, like the poo, this might be TMI, was too hard, whatever, that I was bleeding. And I was just like, I told my doctor about it, and she was like, you need to drink 3 liters of water a day, like eat fruits, and then if that doesn't work, then you could take a stool softener. So I started drinking more water, and I naturally drink a lot of water, so I was surprised. But even more, and eating prunes, and that really helped. So I have a little app on my phone. It's called Baby Center, and you put in your due date, and every week it sends you an update like, your baby is now this size, and your baby has developed this way, and your body at this month is gonna be like this. And it kind of gives you like updates and keeps you updated with your pregnancy. And one of the things it said is like darkening parts of your body, and it said you could get dark spots on your face, like your armpits could get darker, vagina could get darker, like your butt crack can get darker, your nipples, and just different dark spots on your body because you have more pigment in your body. But for me, my nipples got darker, and that was a little like weird to see at first. Like I saw them in the mirror and I was like, whoa, like these are not my normal color. And also they could get bumpy like around the areola. That's a little weird. So as soon as my stomach started growing, like the reason I noticed was because my underwear started to feel tight in the front, and I was just like it hurt. I felt like it hurt, like my underwear was hurting me. So I would roll down my underwear, and then eventually like I just had to buy new bigger underwear because if anything's tight in the front, like it's uncomfortable and it hurts. So I also ended up getting like pregnancy leggings and stuff like that. Also, I have like really big stretch marks there already, and I am getting the line. I have it from the bottom of like my belly button to the bottom right now. I don't know if I'll get it on the top too. Another thing I didn't know before pregnancy, and then doctor told me this, because like throughout your pregnancy they kind of like tell you like your uterus is growing. I didn't know that your uterus expands from like where it normally is all the way to your belly button. She's like, oh, your uterus is at your belly button now. And I was like, okay. A heightened sense of smell. So I've heard this before, but I don't know, I feel like it's true though. Like I feel like if there's a bad smell, like I smell it more than other people. I'll be like, do you smell that? Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's just like being extra good on your senses, I guess. Bloody gums. So this I did experience. So I don't know, your body has more blood because of the baby, blah blah blah. But like sometimes when I floss, or even when I brush my teeth, like my gums will just like be bleeding like crazy. And I guess that's a pregnancy symptom I didn't know about. Stuffy nose. This started for me probably in the like 3rd month, I think. So like in the mornings and in the night I'll have a stuffy nose like every day, just regardless. And I heard it could continue all the way through pregnancy and sometimes even after pregnancy, so I'm just kind of like accepted it. Out of breath too, like you guys might have noticed I'm like completely out of breath all the time. Okay, this one is horrible. Peeing when I sneeze. Like sometimes I sneeze like, you know, normal people sneeze, and like I'll feel like a little like drip of pee come out, and the nurse is like, oh honey, like that's happened since my first child and it never goes away. And I was like, great, I'm gonna pee myself forever now, whatever. So you always hear like when you're pregnant you pee a lot, which is true, but peeing a lot during the night. Like I am constantly getting up at night to pee, and it's usually the same times, which is weird. I'll usually get up at 3 a.m. to pee, and then again at 5 a.m. to pee, and then in the morning when I wake up. So that's kind of annoying, but whatever. And yeah, those are a couple of the things I didn't know before I was pregnant. I'm sure there's more, and I'm sure I'll think of more, so maybe I'll do like a part 2 to this, but yeah, pregnancy has been rough. I feel like right now, because I'm in my second trimester, I'm 23 weeks. I feel like I'm kind of like smooth sailing right now, but then I heard that third trimester comes and it's back to like being really tired again, and just, I don't know, I'm just ready for it to be December, ready to meet this little girl. I will keep uploading more pregnancy updates, hauls, nursery videos like that, so subscribe and thanks for watching.